It is 11 p.m. Your eyes are heavy, your thumb aches, and you are staring at a screen full of strangers. You promised yourself you would go to sleep an hour ago. Instead, you are swiping through endless, meaningless feeds, trapped in a loop you aren't even enjoying anymore. Every time you try to put the device down, an invisible rubber band snaps your attention right back. Society tells you this is a personal failure. We are told that we lack willpower, or that we are simply addicted to the dopamine hits provided by the supercomputers in our pockets. We believe the apps are just too perfectly engineered to resist. But what if the phone isn't the problem at all? What if the reason you cannot stop scrolling has absolutely nothing to do with the glowing rectangle in your hand and everything to do with the empty room you are sitting in? What if your addiction isn't a chemical hook, but a desperate response to your environment? The gap between how we view addiction and how it actually works is vast. For decades, we believed that certain things, drugs, gambling, or now, social media, were inherently addictive. We thought the chemical hooks were simply irresistible. But this is a misunderstanding of our cognitive wiring. To understand why you can't put your phone down, we have to look at a groundbreaking scientific study from the 1970s. It's called the Rat Park experiment. In the early days of addiction research, scientists conducted a simple, rather cruel experiment. They put a single rat in a small, empty cage. They gave it 2 water bottles, one with pure water and one laced with heroin or cocaine. Time and time again, the isolated rat would become obsessed with the drugged water, drinking it compulsively until it died. The conclusion seemed obvious. The drug is so powerful it takes over the brain completely. But a psychologist named Bruce Alexander noticed a fundamental flaw. He looked at that experiment and realized something crucial. The rat is locked alone in a tiny, boring box with absolutely nothing else to do. So he built Rat Park. It was a massive cage filled with colored balls, wheels to run in, the best rat food, and most importantly, other rats. It was a rich, vibrant social community. Alexander then introduced the same 2 water bottles, plain water and drugged water. The results were astounding. The rats in Rat Park tried the drugged water, but they didn't like it. They generally ignored it. They preferred to playmate and socialize. Almost none of them became addicted. None of them overdosed. The chemical was exactly the same, but the environment had completely changed. The cage wasn't empty anymore. The experiment revealed a profound truth. Addiction isn't just about the substance, it's about the cage. When a creature is isolated and deprived of natural connection, it will numb the pain of that isolation with whatever is available. This brings us back to you and your phone. For hundreds of thousands of years, humans lived in tight-knit tribes. Our brains evolved to thrive in a group of about 150 people. In that ancestral environment, you were never truly alone. You were surrounded by your tribe. Your nervous system felt safe. Social connection wasn't a luxury, it was the baseline of human existence. And here lies the conflict. We have taken a brain designed for a rich, interactive tribe and dropped it into the modern world. We live in anonymous megacities. We work in isolated cubicles. We sit alone in our apartments. We have built a society that is technologically advanced, but socially impoverished. We have unknowingly placed ourselves into the tiny, empty cages of the first rat experiment. When you are lying in bed at 11 p.m., mindlessly scrolling, you are not a weak person, failing to resist a chemical hook. You are an isolated creature desperately pressing a lever, trying to simulate the feeling of connection. Social media platforms know this. They exploit this cognitive bug. They provide the drugged water, endless empty likes and notifications to a brain that is starving for real interaction. The darker implication is that our technology isn't connecting us, it's just making our isolation tolerable enough that we don't try to escape the cage. We substitute pixels for people. We accept ghosts instead of a tribe. We become pacified by the screen, ignoring the fundamental human need for face-to-face, skin-to-skin reality. The solution isn't to simply throw your phone in the ocean or rely on brute force willpower. That's like telling the rat in the empty cage to just say no to the water. You can't. You have to understand why the illusion of the screen is so tempting. The opposite of addiction isn't sobriety. The opposite of addiction is connection. The most revolutionary act you can perform in a world of empty cages is to start building your own rat park. It is to recognize that your craving for the screen is actually a craving for your tribe. Reach out to the people right in front of you. Build your inner circle. Fill your environment with meaning, with play, and with genuine human presence. This realization doesn't mean technology is inherently evil, but it frees you from the guilt of your own distraction. It gives you permission to stop fighting the phone and start fighting the isolation. The next time you find yourself blindly reaching for that glowing screen, pause. Ask yourself, what is my brain actually hungry for right now? Are you looking for information, or are you just looking for a tribe? You will find, more often than not, that the cage is empty. And if you are the one who built it, it means you also have the power to open the door. So what do you think? Have you ever felt that strange emptiness after hours of scrolling? Share your experience in the comments below. If this video helped you see the cage for what it is, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Because in a world full of digital illusions, it's always good to know what you're really looking at. Thanks for watching.